Hi there, Jeff here from the Wetsuit Centre, talking to you today about the Rip Curl Chest Zip Dawn Patrol Winter Wetsuit for Fall 2013 into Winter 2014. So, Rip Curl have had a big shake-up of their wetsuit range for this year with the introduction of E4 Neoprene. So E4 Neoprene obviously takes over from the E3 Neoprene, and boasting even more flex, basically lighter and less absorbent as well. So a hugely flexible and comfortable neoprene to wear, which will hopefully dry very quickly and mean that you don't have to get back into a cold, wet wetsuit for your second surf. Okay, so the Rip Curl Dawn Patrol traditionally was a entry-level wetsuit, so a wetsuit at the cheaper end of the Rip Curl wetsuit range. So, you know, you're talking a bit more of a budget wetsuit, less flexibility, but having said that, still a very good wetsuit for just over £100. But with the sort of change and the introduction of E4, Rip Curl decided to make the Dawn Patrol a bit of a better, a bit more of a technical wetsuit by sort of increasing the amount of technology within the suit, but also the price. But having said that, you get a huge amount of technology for the money. So the suit has moved up more around the sort of mid-hundreds towards £200 mark, but still a fantastic suit for that sort of cost. And 5 years ago, this suit would have been near £300. So you're probably thinking it bears quite a striking resemblance toward the E-bomb, and probably wondering what the difference between this and an E-bomb is. And I'll walk you through that in a second, and it's really about sort of some of the technical features, but primarily about the quality of neoprene. So this suit now, the Chest Zip Dawn Patrol, really great looking wetsuit. The neoprene that comprises this suit is essentially the E4, which is the new neoprene in the upper body, to under the arms, and then you get what we call a free flex neoprene in the lower body. That's still a super stretch neoprene, equivalent to kind of the E3, but not quite as good as the E4. So the suit now is 100% stretch rather than just the upper body, and it also has some of the flash dry lining, if you're familiar with that. Less panelling and a good technical chest zip as well. I'll walk you through in a little more depth what that actually means, but essentially that is the difference that you're getting in the Chest Zip Dawn Patrol. So for about £170 you're getting basically a full stretch wetsuit, thermal lined, chest zip and E4 in the upper body, so really fantastic for the price. The E4, as I say, is just in the upper body. With the E-bomb it's the whole way through, and you also get E4 Plus. Some people might wonder why you don't use E4 Plus throughout the whole suit. It's because it's so stretchy that it would lose its shape if it was used through the whole wetsuit. So that's what you get in the E-bomb, different to the actual sort of Dawn Patrol. Okay, so it comes to the chest zip and the back zip. The chest zip a little bit more expensive because it's a bit more of a technical suit. You don't have much panelling in the chest zip suit, and so in terms of like the smooth skin panel on the front, that is dropped in favour of full stretch throughout the whole front of the suit without any sort of polypro lining or anything on the front. So it's just good quality neoprene right through the suit, minimal seams, which give you a huge amount of flexibility, just like the E-bomb. So really fantastic. E4 in the upper body, so that E4, once you feel and touch it, you'll be really impressed. It's really flexible throughout this whole suit. Every seam is strategically placed to make sure that it doesn't interfere with the movement of the body, doesn't feel uncomfortable, and doesn't compromise the stretch of the wetsuit. Around the back you do get that sort of single lined smooth skin panel. That's usually an indication that on the inside it's thermal lined, and that's where it is. It's thermal around the back panel here. That's where you get the flash lining, which I'll show you in a second, and if you're unfamiliar with that then I will talk you through it. So, as you say, minimal seams and panelling throughout the suit to give you that flexibility that you want in any wetsuit. On the front of the suit, further down, you get the standard Duraflex knee pads, which is a sort of specially made material which is really robust, stops any wear and tear, and gives the suit a longer shelf life on the areas where it typically wears through quite quickly, which is the knees. On the suit itself, the actual seams, which is really important, all of the winter suits we do now are glued and blind stitched. Okay, basically what that means is two pieces of neoprene are butted up together, they're sewn halfway through, then glued the other side. Around the critical areas, so where you get some sort of stress points on the wetsuit, you then with the suit get E4 taping as well, which is just a really flexible tape. Doesn't compromise stretch, feels really comfy on the skin, but also reinforces the sort of stressed areas on the wetsuits, around the cuffs, around the ankles, that kind of thing. Okay, so that is a sort of sign of a good wetsuit as well. Some suits you get that sort of liquid taping. Rip Curl haven't bothered too much with it this year. That sort of rubber taping on the suit, they don't feel like it's necessary to seal the wetsuit, and they also feel like it compromises the flexibility on the suit. So sort of arguments can be had around that in terms of durability. But having said that, the suit itself is very, very well made and durable, and will feel lighter because of less of the liquid taping, that kind of thing. So that's everything on the front of the wetsuit. I'll go through the chest entry system with you in a second as we turn the suit inside out. Around the back, as I say, you've got that single lining there. No key pocket on the suit this year, which I don't believe will bother too many people who've got electronic keys these days anyway, but just worth noting. Okay, so the chest entry system. Now, chest entry versus back entry, it's really down to what you prefer in terms of getting in and out of the wetsuit. Some people prefer a back zip because it's easier to get in and out of. Some people prefer a chest zip because it feels better when it's on, and it's perhaps a little bit better at giving you more flexibility throughout the back of the suit, and also at creating a seal around your neck and stopping flush throughs. Okay, so the chest entry system zips outward to make it easier to get the suit zipped up, and then it's a standard sort of over the head system with a high piece of neoprene underneath, meaning that any water that comes in through the side of the zip is not going to go into the suit. It's just going to get drained out through the side of the wetsuit here, through the drain holes at the front and the drain holes at the back here as well. So that keeps water out of the suit. And any flush throughs to the neck, they're going to meet this piece of neoprene and be drained out of the wetsuit. That goes up and over your head. You've got a nice smooth skin piece here just to create a good seal against the wetsuit rubber itself, and you've also got a toggle as well, which pull it tight, make sure that no water gets in. Really effective way of keeping water out of the wetsuit. The zip itself, just a standard little plastic zip, which seems to work really well. It means that it's not corroding and it's not getting stuck in salt water. And all of that kind of stuff is covered under warranty for a year as well with Rip, so they're quite good from that point of view. I'll turn the suit inside out for you so you can see what's going on the inside, because it's worth sort of noting. You'll be able to see sort of two colours of neoprene inside the suit, which will just give you an indication of where the E4 neoprene actually lies inside the wetsuit, and also the orange taping, which is the E4 taping on the critical areas. Okay. So turning the suit inside out, you can see a lot of blue around the top. Now that blue neoprene, well, that's the jersey over the neoprene, but that just indicates basically the E4 neoprene. So in the upper part of the suit, if I move back here, that's the back. You've got that blue neoprene at the top, that's all of the E4, and then the free flex lower down, which is grey like the old E3. Okay, so you can see that the whole way up and down the wetsuit. The orange taping, you can see, is basically on all the critical areas, so pretty much most of the suit, to be honest with you. They drop it kind of more on the arms, I guess that's to give you more flexibility, but primarily most of the suit is actually E4 taped on the inside, which will just really help with keeping the water out and giving the suit more strength. So the only thing that's really worth sort of noting on the inside of the suit is this panel here, which is the Polypro panel, or the flash dry lining. And basically what this is, Polypro is like a plasticky material which insulates the wetsuit and keeps heat inside the suit. So instead of heat being lost through the neoprene gradually, and you getting sort of cold as time goes on, basically the Polypro slows down that process. So it's better at retaining heat inside the suit, keeping you warmer, keeping you cool warmer, and keeping you in the water for longer. The difference with this is back-combed Polypro, which basically creates a fluffy kind of effect. And what that does, it pulls moisture out of the fabric, and then the moisture sits on the little tips of plastic, and then it just dries out really quickly. So this panel will dry very quickly, but also that sort of fluffy, sort of fleecy effect also helps to keep you a bit warmer as well. So that's just around the kidneys of the suit, basically. The suit comes in a few colourways. We do it in the black and we do it in the blue as well, so it's a nice looking wetsuit. It's all about full stretch, but not compromising on warmth, for well under 200 quid. So the Dawn Patrol is one of my favourite suits for this winter. Really impressed with how they've rejigged their range, and definitely a recommendation from the Wetsuit Centre.